The NASCAR Cup Series season may be on hold, but that doesn't mean we're not going to get to watch our favorite NASCAR drivers go head-to-head this weekend. We've got a lot to talk about in this episode. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric, and welcome to Out of the Groove live. Not live, this is recorded, of course, from a Buc-ee's. You can actually see the beaver. A Buc-ee's parking lot in the middle of Texas. And we're coming at you here on the go. I'm not even in my car. This is not the car you guys are used to seeing me in, but we're on the fly. We're making this happen. This is the way the whole world is working right now. Everyone's just kind of making it up as they go along. I've got a lot of traveling ahead of me. A lot of my plans are changing very quickly with, all this, virus outbreak and everything. There's a lot going on right now, but I wanted to sit down and make this video before this weekend. I wanted to get up before the weekend because we're going to talk about iRacing today. Some of y'all might be tired about me hearing me talk about iRacing, but I can't help it. That's all we got these days. But this is pretty exciting. So remember, I think it was my last episode, I talked about how NASCAR was creating the NASCAR Pro Invitational Series on iRacing. They're inviting a bunch of top Cup Series, Xfinity Series, etc. drivers to compete on iRacing for a undisclosed number of races during this hiatus. And I thought it was pretty cool because yes, it'd be great to see the actual cars on track racing for points, racing, as part of the 2020 season, but that's not possible at the moment. But iRacing is possible. And the fact that we're still going to get to see a lot of top drivers. We had a short list of drivers that were confirmed earlier this week. That list has extended and grown dramatically. So that's what I want to talk about today. A lot of details have now been given about the NASCAR Pro Invitational Series. I think I'm getting the name right. I don't even know. But we now know what network it's going to be on, day and time, all that stuff. We also know most, if not all, of the drivers that are participating. And there are some very shocking and surprising and very interesting names on that list. So let's get to it. Let's talk about some details. First and foremost, broadcast details here. The race will be this Sunday here in just a couple days, 1:30 p.m. Eastern time, and they have a broadcast partner confirmed, and indeed, as was rumored earlier this week, it is Fox Sports 1. So the race will be at 1:30 Eastern time, Fox Sports 1, cable television, national cable television. That's pretty cool. And because the race is on Fox, the broadcast booth is quite impressive as well. Mike Joy and Jeff Gordon will be commentating the race, with Larry McReynolds offering his colorful insight as well. Bob Pockers from Fox Sports reports here that the race will be 100 laps around Homestead Miami Speedway, and the FS1 telecast window is 90 minutes long, so presumably they'll be able to get in 100 laps at Homestead in that amount of time. Another question he answers here is that the race will be using fixed setups, which means basically every single car will be the same. Drivers can't come in and make their own setups. I'm sure they can make adjustments on pit road and everything, but this means at least at the start of the race, every single driver will be running the exact same setup. So this will be interesting because we're going to look at the list in a second here, and we might see some names we're not used to seeing run up front, partially due to lack of proper equipment. We might see them running up front. So let's get to the list. Let's get to the driver lineup here. We've got some awesome names here. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Bobby Labonte, Hall of Famer now, is going to be racing in this thing. Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, Clint Bowyer, Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, Bubba Wallace, Chris Buescher, William Byron, the iRacing man himself, Matt DiBenedetto, Austin and Ty Dillon, Timmy Hill, Michael McDowell, John Hunter Nemechek, Ryan Preece, Garrett Smithley, Eric Jones, Ross Chastain, Parker Kligerman, Landon Castle, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And now those are just the, kind of Cup Series guys that have been announced. There are still going to be a few more Xfinity Truck Series drivers mixed in there as well. Those have not yet publicly been disclosed, but I mentioned in my video the other day, like Anthony Alfredo responded to one of my tweets saying he was in. I think Justin Allgaier is going to be in it. Jimmy Johnson, not named there. That's one of the biggest names not mentioned on that list. However, he made a post on social media yesterday showing off his very impressive iRacing setup. So I don't know if this photo means Jimmy Johnson's going to be in the race or if he's just flexing on us, showing us how impressive his setup is. I don't know what's going on here. Also, Kurt Busch was not on that list. This woman, I think she got everything. All right, I don't know what she's doing. I'm just gonna slip on my icy right here. It's making my tongue blue. But yeah, Kurt Busch also posted this photo of what looks like an iRacing rig or seat, or at least part of something, in wrapping paper, as if he hasn't unpacked it yet. So perhaps Jimmy Johnson, perhaps Kurt Busch will be involved at some point. Now, there is no purse. Bob Pockers also reports that there is no purse for this iRacing event. However, a lot of sponsors are using this as an opportunity to spend some money and be involved in the sport. So there is sponsorship money involved. There is money involved. There's money at play here. However, the race itself, they will not be racing for money. It's really just for bragging rights, which is why when I talked about this earlier this week, I hope they don't take it too seriously. They've already reported that Clint Bowyer is going to be kind of like the in-race reporter. He's going to be kind of commentating partially while he's racing in the race. So that's going to be fun. I hope they do some more of that. Like I said, if not for this first race, I'd like for them, maybe if they do a few more races like this, which it sounds like they might do, I'd like to see, some of the drivers drivers like stream their own point of view. I'd love to see Denny Hamlin streaming live on Twitch his commentary as he's racing, or Clint Boyer or whoever. I'd love to see some of the top drivers, you know, commentating while they race from their own point of views. And so if you're watching at home, you can have the main race on Fox Sports on TV. You can maybe have your laptop and be flipping between a couple different live streams as well from your favorite driver's POV. That would be really awesome if NASCAR could kind of encourage the drivers to do that or find a way to set that up and make that doable. I would really like to see that because that would be really unique. It's already unique that NASCAR, during all these hiatuses, while the whole world is basically shut down, that NASCAR is still able to compete in some capacity. You know, a lot of NBA players, they're just sitting on their hands right now. Baseball, there's nothing they can really do. Football, nothing they're going on over there. But NASCAR, they're still racing. Yes, it's online. Yes, it's not the same as real racing, real race cars, but they're still competing and they're still engaging with the community and keeping NASCAR relevant. So that's something that sets racing apart, and it's something I love about NASCAR. And I love that they're doing this. And we've seen a couple other races, the Replacements 100 last weekend. Last night was E-Truck Series Night in America that was organized by Ryan Vargas. Both seem to be pretty big successes. Obviously, the Coca-Cola iRacing series is still going on. So iRacing, they're getting a big boost. They're the big winners in this whole thing. I'm trying to see if there's any important broadcast details I've overlooked. Now, I did see this on Twitter, and old school NASCAR, not even that old school, just if you've been a fan for the last several years, this could be really exciting to you. So I already said Jeff Gordon, Mike Joy, the typical Fox group with Larry McReynolds, are going to be broadcasting. They're going to be the commentators for the race this weekend. However, Xfinity Series driver Brandon Brown said, hey, at Alan Bestwick, would you jump in the booth for some esports iRacing events? And Alan Bestwick replied, can't tonight, but yes. Alan Bestwick, longtime NASCAR play-by-play guy. He was with NBC for years, then he was with ESPN. My favorite play-by-play, my favorite commentator across any sport, actually, is Alan Bestwick. He's called some of my favorite finishes, and he nails it every time. He's got the perfect voice for radio, for TV. He could do it all. He could probably sing and be a Grammy-nominated vocalist, I'll be honest. Maybe that's stretching. I don't know. I'm a big Alan Bestwick fan. A lot of people really like Alan Bestwick, and he's been doing some odd jobs here and there. He's been like in college sports, doing some stuff there the last couple of years, but he hasn't been kind of on the national scene in a minute. But with everything coming together kind of last minute, I'd love if Alan Bestwick was able to call one of these races. It would be so great. It'd be so nostalgic, so beautiful. It's probably not going to happen for any of these, you know, Fox Sports ones. Fox Sports has their people that they're paying a lot of money to broadcast the races, so I don't think it would happen for one of these. But if there was another, like, just one-off race here or there, like we've seen a little bit with some Cup Series guys or some big names in it, it would be great to hear Alan Bestwick, even if he's just at his house, you know, on his laptop, speaking into like a cheap microphone to call the race. Even if that's all it is, it'd be pretty special. It'd be pretty freaking awesome. So a lot of good that could potentially come out of this weekend. While this whole hiatus has been really bad for, I mean, the whole world, honestly, but even just focusing on the racing aspect, a lot of guys, a lot of crew guys lost their jobs or at least been laid off for the time being. So it's really tough for a lot of teams, a lot of people who work in and around the sport. It's been really tough. Matt Weaver for Auto Week, I believe, made a good article. We kind of highlighted on some of that. So I encourage you guys to go check that out if you have the time. I'll probably talk about some of those effects here coming up in the next week or two. We've got a lot of dead air, a lot of dead space to fill with content, so there'll be plenty of things to talk about. But while there has been a lot of really bad, just kind of negative things to come out of this hiatus, and that we all want this hiatus to end as soon as possible, there are some good things, and there are potentially some really cool things that are going to come out of this. So it's important to at least not overlook the good. Everyone wants to focus on the bad, and the bad is important, and the bad needs to be taken care of, but it's important to not look past the good as well. I think in this time, we'll all go crazy if we just focus on the bad. If that's all we do, there's no way we're getting out of this. So it's important to at least take some of the good with the bad, and at least acknowledge the good when it happens. And this weekend's iRacing event with all these Cup Series guys and some Xfinity and truck guys and the full broadcast booth being on Fox Sports 1, that is pretty cool for the sport. That's a cool thing to see. So hopefully it's fun. I'll be watching. I might even do a video afterwards. Just keep an eye out. I'm doing a lot of weird traveling the next couple days, but keep an eye out for that. I'll be watching for sure, and I hope a lot of you guys are too. As far as predictions go, William Byron, you know, he's kind of the iRacing kid. He came up on iRacing. That's how he first got noticed. Then he didn't get into a real race car until he was like 15, 16 years old, which is pretty late by modern standards, especially given that he's like 22 and is already in the Cup Series. I mean, he got into a real race car pretty late, so he's known for his iRacing talent, his iRacing success. So William Byron's probably going to be one to watch. I'm really excited to see how guys like Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin, veterans. I didn't hear Martin Truex Jr. on that list or Jimmy Johnson, but again, they might be joining at some point, some way or another. But I'm really excited to see how the veterans. Bobby Labonte, Hall of Famer, is coming back. Dale Earnhardt Jr., he's coming back. That's going to be really cool to see how they stack up against the young guys like Byron, like Larson or Jones or some of those other guys. Really interesting to see. And I also mentioned earlier, because they're now all on equal footing, equal setups, you might see some of those guys that you're not used to hearing, like Timmy Hill or Parker Kligerman or Landon Castle. I don't know. You might see some of those guys who are used to, you know, running 30th each week, mainly because their equipment's not great. You know, you might see some of those guys contending for the lead. You never know. You might see, you know, side by side Timmy Hill versus Kyle Busch for the win. That wouldn't shock me. And where else can you see that but iRacing these days? Anyway, I'm pretty excited. Hope you guys are too. Gonna be interesting to watch for sure, but thank you guys a ton now for watching this video from a Buc-ee's parking lot. This show just gets weirder and weirder. Cleanest bathrooms this side of the Mississippi. I believe it. I believe probably cleanest bathrooms both sides of the Mississippi. But anyway, thank you guys for watching this episode. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. I'll keep you updated with all sorts of stuff throughout this entire hiatus. Of course, subscribe if you're new. We still are doing this show, churning out episodes multiple times a week, all throughout this indefinite suspension. But thank you guys for watching, and a big thank you to my Patreon supporters. Couldn't keep this up without the support I get from all of you on Patreon, so thank you all a ton for continuing to support me, continuing to support the show, support the channel. Really, really means a lot. Once this hiatus ends, I will be getting out to some more racetracks, and that wouldn't be possible without the support I get over here. So thank you all a ton for your Patreon support. Yeah, it might be 2 or 3 days till my next video. I gotta move some stuff around, literally, quite literally. So next time you hear from me, I'm not entirely sure when that will be, but I will be back sooner rather than later. Thank you all for the support. Thank you for watching. We're gonna get through this, guys. We got some fun racing to watch on TV this week, so I'm excited. Hope you guys are too. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Bye-bye, y'all. Gotta finish my icy here. And it's raining. Of course it's freaking raining. Everything's gloomy these days. Just can't escape it. Just can't escape it. This icy's pretty good, though. Yeah, I told you, take the good with the bad. This is pretty good. Icy, never do no wrong.